Hello, everybody. Happy Friday afternoon. I am here with Bob. We are doing the Upgrade Yo Live again. So tonight it's outcome of the outcome. Bob, do you want to elaborate and we can just jump right in?
Yes. So first of all, thanks for having me on, and I'm loving my connection with the rest of our team that way. So yeah, I'm going to build a little context. Let's see, and gosh, who knows when. Back a number of decades ago, I'll put it that way. I remember where I was, and I started reading the work of Neville. And so before I read Neville, I really encourage everybody to read Neville. Basically, every book says exactly the same thing, which is really nice in a different way. And so I read Neville, I think it was called The Law and the Promise at that point. My wife, when she was on the planet, would lay down and sleep once every 3 or 4 days. And this is one of those evenings that she was actually in bed. And so I read the book to her, and it was like the capstone of all my work. And she would, kind of be there, but also was sleeping some. But she, oh, that's really cool. And then she'd go back to sleep. So, but I was sitting there, and all my work was about imagining, getting specific, claiming an outcome, languaging, all that stuff. And I had what I call A, which is current reality, and that's the handout that people have available. There's sub A, which is avoided or suppressed current reality. So any goal set from A, now, the facts of now, we can make a new choice. Mm-hmm. Any goal set from sub A or avoided or suppressed current reality will be off course because it's not in the moment of now. Like when scripture, not religion, says, know the truth, it sets you free. Mm-hmm. So if I'm avoiding some feeling, some thoughts, some truth, whatever, and I set a goal from below or different than my now, every goal will be off course. So this is really important. Oh. Like, wow, okay, so if I don't like something, I don't like is where I'm not. And what I do feel, I feel anger. All right, that's not wrong. In my state of anger, it would be much better than no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything's just fine. Everything's just fine. Right, so hopefully y'all got a picture of that. So I had all this before. A, current reality, facts of our now. Sub A, avoided or suppressed, like whatever. And that's a lot of the illusion is based on sub A. And then AB, I would call it, was the process. I'm working on it. I'm getting ready. How's your outcome coming? Well, I'm getting ready. Any ing word. Mm-hmm. So not A is not wrong. Sub A is not wrong. AB process is not wrong. And I had A, sub A, AB process, and B is the outcome. And I thought I was the cat's meow. Okay. And then I read Neville, and it was like heaven for me. Neville would simply say to imagine from your wish fulfilled, not of it, toward it, or about it. So all of us that are, in the game with you, my dear, of, upgrading our lives and helping other people upgrade. So we're setting goals, we're making new choices, we're stepping into the game. Well, what this is about tonight is a tight little chunk of self-coaching, let's say, but you can use it anywhere and you can help your people with it. On not only how to move the needle, even that, like, well, we're moving the needle. Well, that's still process. Yeah. Not wrong. None of these are wrong. Yeah. Well, I love the idea, like the scriptural statement, again, not religion, but it says, when you pray, ask, call, imagine. When you pray, ask, believing, ye receive, and ye receive. And for decades, I thought believing was, I can just imagine. No, the word believe means be alive in.
Woo! I like that.
Be alive in. So when you pray, when we pray, which to me is also imagine, decree, claim, you have to a prayer is a plugging in and a turning on. Uh-huh. Plug in, turn on. So when you pray, ask. And think about what ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, all that. So all of us here who have a team of people we're choosing to raise, we can raise them right in our heart. That's the beautiful thing. If we will, when I pray, I ask, believing, I receive. Now, again, every time I read that, I was like, yeah, good. I mean, great. Thanks for sharing. Of course, that's faith. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much. And still inside, I was going, yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. No, I did not know. I did not know the definition. The word believe again means to be alive in. Well, I would have to have faith to be alive in. Well, that's what it's about, Bob. Okay, then. Well,
Okay,
so,
then.
well, I'll be having that. So now, I've been out planting Leland cypress, so like I'm ready for this type of thing. So all right, so now, so everybody, please, 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 just I'm going to add a couple steps to whatever you're doing, which are miraculous in engaging us in being alive in our dreams already fulfilled. And if we like are helping others, our family, our loved ones, our friends, our company, our career, our organizations, well, that well, if I could just get them to no, don't do that. No, don't do it. What you do is you come in, how do I feel? Remember, in the furnace of your heart, in the furnace of my heart, and all of us here vote victory, see perfection, because this is a quickening to the point of being alive in our heart's desire claimed. So I mean, yeah, and it's magic whenever I do it for me. That's why I teach it. That's why I'm doing this stuff, because I have to do. I don't have to. Well, maybe. Well, anyway, I do me. I mean, all coaching is self-coaching. All facilitation is self-facilitation. Yes. Where every one of us, if we'll just admit we're actually doing this to teach ourselves and help ourselves. Uh-huh. So when we set a goal, as an example, a goal is yet to be attained. Goals are helpful. People that set goals do better than somebody who doesn't. But I'm suggesting that that's only one step of this. When you pray, ask, believing you receive, and you receive. What? When you pray, ask. So we have to make a very specific request. The more specific we are, the more instantaneous the manifestation. I'm going to say it again. The more specific, the more vivid we are, the more instantaneous the manifestation.
Yes.
So when I pray, I ask, imagine, call, decree, write it down, whatever. Then I believe. Remember, I used to think that was a mental attitude. Now it just means I wake up. I be alive in my dream fulfilled. So for me to wake up and be alive in my dream fulfilled, my call fulfilled, my request to my creation and creator fulfilled, to wake up in it, I have to give up not having my dream. And I have to wake up in already having my dream. Wow, this is so important. I mean, for me, I track, and like right now, usually energetically, it's a thing called limerence. And I believe it's like a form of energy. I call it grace. It's scintillating. Ducky bumps happen, all that kind of stuff when this is going on. But the moment we enter grace, there's, people call it skin knowledge, or chicken skin. That's what we call the ducky bumps. It's been said, somebody that was into anatomy, physiology, and neuroendocrine stuff would say that, you can't produce that ducky bump, that skin knowledge at will. It's always a conformation of something happening. So if you can all imagine, all right, so let's say my goal is, and if it's a vague goal, that would be a sub-A, it's not going to work. But if you go, like, let's say my goal is to manifest X dollars. That's not a real goal. You can have it, but it's not a real goal. It's how do you feel now that you've gotten your miracle? So if everybody can go, all right, when you pray, ask, believe, and you receive, and you receive. When you pray, ask, call, vibrate in very specific language, thought, and feeling, while awakening to and being alive in. This is going to, we can't just go, well, I've set my goals and, and I'm hoping that it's going to work. And, is it going to work? Are you going to work it for me? I'd really like that if you could. It'd be really good for me if you could just please God, how about it? That's not a prayer.
I need to know why you chose the leprechaun voice for that.
I don't even know where these. I wasn't even. Yeah, but it's funny. I wasn't even. That was actually being my builder, the guy that builds for me, who's Irish to the max. And I didn't even know I was doing him. So anyway, so forgive me, everyone out there. I pick on these guys. Now I'm a little Italian. It just happens. Okay. So now, and by the way, when we speak in different sounds and whatever, our brain, the brain of our group listen differently. Like when I become my Dr. Quay, who's Asian, OMG, it's fantastic how the whole room is, they just, so good for you. You stay warm. Anyway. So now the whole idea is to awaken, become alive in our dream fulfilled. And so think about that. So if my goal is X, whatever X is, that means I don't have it yet because it's my goal, which means yet to be manifest. Okay, so scripture, not religion, says, before you have asked, Bob, before you have asked, I have answered. Really? And that's how much we're loved. Only we are given the agreement or some kind of grace or whatever that we're involved in co-creation. As we think in our heart, so am we. All right? What you put your attention upon, that ye become. By your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. A man, a woman who offendeth not in word, the same as a perfect person able to bridle the whole body. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. In the beginning of anything was the Word was with God, the Word was God. And the Word becomes flesh. That's my new book on how to do the reversals. Okay, so now everyone here, all it's going to take for you to be alive in your dream is to go to the outcome of the outcome of the outcome of your goal. It'll also help you fine tune it. I mean, I'll ask everyone, even though I already know the answer, how many have set goals and when you got them, you went, that wasn't it. I mean, yeah, it's like, obviously that wasn't it. Or, I mean, serious, not just one or two, but, and for me, I was like, dude, if you would have just sat down and just thought about it for 5 seconds, and that's the idea. Well, now that I have that, once I get that, what's the outcome of that? Then where do I go? Think through, see the end from the beginning. Maybe that's the way the heavens were created. That's what it says. So now I'm choosing to keep this really vibrant and simple for everyone. So, and we may open it up depending on you. You manage that. For me, let's say my goal is to have X. I recommend everybody, this is languaging now, you move from to have to I have. To have yet, not yet manifest. Now move that to I have my dream. I'm going to keep it at that. Now notice I call it A, current reality, sub A, avoided or suppressed current reality. A, B is getting to it, in the ing word. B is the outcome, and this is all in that handout. And the outcome is I have my dream. But the way I say it is we're simply just standing in the open door that no man can shut. We haven't walked through that door and into the mansion and turning the lights on. So this is about, now that I've got my dream, what's new and different for me? So to imagine from the outcome of the outcome of the outcome awakens me vividly, and especially when we use the 16 senses in first person, personal, here and now, conscious, creative, outcome producing. By the way, these are recorded, yes, so people can get this. Are you recording this? Yes? Good, yes. Good. All right, so now, if everyone, my dream, the reason I've been involved strongly with your group and with some of my other groups about especially helping my Young Living family, because I believe we got the answers that are really important for people through our beloved Gary and Mary and all the stream of grace that's gone on. So now I've been with many, many people who are like, yes, I've got one person signed up and, someday I might, no, it's much easier than all that. You can still do all that great system stuff. But how about imagine from your outcome here now of already thriving in your life, your family, your business, your relationships, your health. So what this means, when you pray, ask. Remember that ask must happen. That is plugging in to love, to the universe, and turning on. And that's ask. And then the more specific you are, the more instantaneous the manifestation. Then once you've asked, once you claim with something so specific, once you get it, you'll know you get it. Not just, I choose to improve a lot, totally, somewhat, hopefully. Oh. That's not, yeah, I love that. That's exactly the universe. Exactly my take. That was not pre-planned, but yeah, it's like, the angels. The angels of the air, it says, are bound and unable to do our bidding, or freed, it says, loose to do our bidding by our words alone. So I've gone, I really want to move upscale and improve everything. Hopefully, yes, please. I don't know. I mean, they're just like, yeah, just don't mess them, pull away, angel canasta, what do you got? They're not going to do anything until somebody says, I choose
Yes.
X.
Yeah.
And then when we make a choice that's definite, exacting, that's step one. That's all it is. Step two is, well, I walk by faith, not by sight. I walk by faith. Well, I'm in walking. This is part of imagination. It is the walk of faith to imagine. All right. Now, remember, I have to shift. I have to shift from my old reality, kind of withdraw from it, let go of it. Now that I am fulfilled in my new choice, what's new and different, it has to be personal. Not about, well, my family's happy and, whatever. No, it's how do you feel now that your family's happy? Oh, you mean I count? Yes, you count. I matter? Yes, I matter. In fact, to get something to happen in our existent matter, it has to matter to us personally. Hope everybody's getting all this.
Yes.
Now I'm going to go from I hope everyone's already getting this, which is babble, to now that my world on this session that we're doing, Martha and I, upgrade yo life. I love that. So now that we've upgraded yo and my life, yeah. What's new and different, and then for me is I am reading and hearing and listening to miracle after miracle after miracle of individuals, our team, and how many people are involved in this group right now?
Almost 9,000.
In just 4 seconds, it's now at 92 billion. Okay. I mean, serious, you're magic, girl. So, and our team is magic. So now, my outcome, see, I'm doing my version. My outcome is my experience of many, not all, but many people in Young Living was they really they loved the experience of the product, the serve, all that. And yet there was like, well, so how about ask, when you pray, ask, believing you receive, everyone be made new in being a sun presence of truth, magnetizing and igniting other sun presences of truth, who are igniting and radiating out to our planet, families and all worldwide sun presences of truth, where Mother Nature has delivery systems and all this craziness in the human condition has been flipped by the beauty of sunlight through photosynthesis, through the blood of the plant, etc., into people's lives where they have the benefit of spirit through plant, Mother Nature, and they remember. They're fulfilled. We don't focus on healing disease because disease is a man-made word. It's unease. I'm going to the doctor for unease. Well, it doesn't make sense. No judgment to any modality. That's not the point. The point is that, all right, maybe as we think in our heart, so are we. That's senior. What we say we get, the word becomes flesh. That's senior. And so now it's really important as co-creative beings to create consciously, to create with love, to create with enthusiasm. So many of the goals in the past that we've been setting are dumbed down, no judgment, but just, I don't think that's doable. So I'm going to pick a smaller goal of, maybe being able to sleep tonight versus bring the planet to the ascension. I mean, and if we're dumbing down our heart's call, he or she who seeks to save their life, scripture, not religion, says, he or she who seeks to save their life, lose it. And he or she who gives their life has it forever. And that what another scriptural statement is, I will spit you out of my mouth if you're lukewarm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So now when you pray, ask, call, demand, plug in, turn on, get specific, and then be alive in, believe, be alive in, be alive. Well, now that I've got this, what's new and different for me personally? And then, so when you make a goal, set a goal, claim, call, specific. And one of the ways to know is it specific is, could you order this at a restaurant? In other words, what we're telling our angels to bring from the invisible to the visible realm, our exactness. So if we're vague, they can't bring it. Nobody can.
Right.
You know, it's like, I'd like to improve a little, you know, in some areas of my life. And the angels are going, what do you got, Canasta? All right. But the minute we go, I am committed, or I choose, it could even be I want to begin with. I want, I like choose, I claim, whatever. My outcome is, and I love that much the best. My outcome is I am happy with my partner and my family, or something like that. That is the beginning of a fulfilled state. It is enough to be delivered. Now, the minute I say that my outcome is, notice there's a goal, which is toward, and there's a state of outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from that, my payoff is I come out of that.
Yeah.
So if I go, my outcome is I'm happy with my wife, or I'm happy with my family, or I'm whatever it is. And then it's not quite far enough yet. This is just the distinction. Not wrong. It's awesome. Now that I'm happy with my family, I'm making these examples up. What's new and different for me is, it could be many people, one of the failures is that my wife is happy, or my kids are happy. Nah. What's new for me? How do you feel now that your wife's happy? How do you feel now your kids are gloriously genius, radiant, confident, whatever? How do you feel? You matter.
Mm-hmm.
So again, go back to this thing. When you pray, ask, vibrate it into existence, believing you receive. Think about that. All right, now that I've received, my outcome of receiving is that, oh, I see, I smell, I taste, I hear, motion, direction, tactility, pressure. You know, there's these 16 senses. Like 5 is usually enough to completely flip the old into the new. And it must be our highest choice. It must be our heart, our creator furnishing it, not just what we think is doable and reasonable. No, if we go to what's doable and reasonable, we're just going to go back and repeat what we've done and repeat what we've done. So in the simplicity of what tonight is about for me, in the gift of this for me is to imagine from the outcome, and then imagine, because that's like we're on through the open door. Now that I'm fulfilled, what's new and different is, and now that I've got that, what's new and different is, and now that I've got that, what's new and different is. So notice that we walk forward minimum three steps, and now we find ourselves in our imagination vivid, so vivid that it's more real than anything in the old. And now for us to imagine, this is what I've learned, we have to steal energy from our old dying self and birth it into our new self. So it'll take will, it'll take enthusiasm, it'll take our spirit, it'll take our breath. And remember, it's like, well, what about the old is having to give up its life to the new? The old self dies as the new self is born. So it's a real simple thing. My outcome is, well, what's the outcome of that? Walk in it. What's the outcome of that? Walk in it. What's the outcome of that? Walk in it. And then, many people, I do corporate this, I do work with people, and they'll finally get to the outcome of the outcome of the outcome. Now, as a coach, they've got it all written down. I've done this with Smithsonian Institution, which was a branch of the government. I didn't know that ahead of time. I just sat and imagined that I gave this to my world, that was too big. Then I said, I give it to my country, that was too big. And then I said, all right, I give it to a branch of the government. I lived in Annapolis, Maryland at that point. Government's important to me. And I didn't know what all that meant. So, but I imagined giving it to a branch of my government. Next day I got a phone call from a woman who was one of my students, and she worked at Smithsonian Institution. And she said, the director of Office of Information Resource Management would like to have you come in because we are screwing up. We've got all these coaches. We've been working on 18 months. We've put in hundreds of thousands of dollars to gather all the information systems. And it was the largest retailer in D.C. I didn't have a clue about that. Smithsonian Institution. So I go in, and it was the middle of winter, and I just came from Florida, so I'm in a really light colored suit. I don't wear them anymore, but anyway, so I didn't go in with the best political wear anyway. And I got the job, and I realized after I got all the information, so I know the basic agreement of the Smithsonian, it's a branch of the government, and that's exactly what I imagined. It's a branch of the government. Wow, it has an undersecretary, there's all that kind of stuff. Anyway, long story short, what I'm sharing with you is the moment you begin to imagine from the invisible side of life builds for you exactly. And it is the walk of faith. I walk by faith, not by sight. And if you will do it 3 steps, what'll happen is the little self that's going to look for, how am I going to do it? How is that going to come about? I have ways ye know not of, and they're beyond finding out, is what this book says. I have ways, Bob. What? You know not of. Yeah. And you're not ever going to find out. Well, come on now. I mean, just could you show me how you're going to do it? Come on, God, just show. And then, I mean, I did that for 3 freaking decades. And then I hear when I'm, I make my call and imagine, and then I'm looking around to see how God's going to do it. And like I hear, so to speak, what are you doing? From my great God self, I'll put it that way. And I said, well, I mean, whenever anybody answers, well, it's a filter. Well, I just, it's like, oh no, my hand's in the cookie jar. Well, I'm just going to say how you're going to do it. That's not faith. Well, I'm serious, man. It was really, really a wrestling match. And it's like, and then I heard, I said energetically, not intuitionally, you mean I have to have immaculate faith? And it was complete silence. I have to answer that question myself. Yes. That's what I'm committed to, is complete faith, absolute faith, from invisible to visible, from the unseen to the seen. And that's how we get heaven on earth. And that's what all this material stuff is that we have in the form of sunlight through photosynthesis into the blood of the plant and carried forward by one of the greatest stewards on our planet I've ever met, Gary Young.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yep. So 3 steps. Imagine, name it, and then imagine from it vividly, and then from there, our new here vividly, and from there, my new here, I imagine from here. And then what I was going to say is always leave on the screen, and now what's new and different, even though you may not answer it. Everyone, don't look back yet to figure out how you got it. Keep moving forward. The how is not up to us. The how will happen. We may be involved. We may not be involved directly. It will be by grace, but it won't be precogged by us in how to do it. And if everybody can just trust that. So many people look in their world going, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone. And so they don't know anyone. Mm-hmm. But if they go, my love raises everyone in my community. And imagine, how do you feel now that you've got your large community of people having their miracles they're reporting to you? Do you see how this begins to work? And then they have their own experiences of whatever it is they're doing in their life. Anyway, so that's my basic message for today.
Whew. Did everybody get that? I have my phone. I have a bit of a different setup today. Ooh, people are loving it. Rachel said she'd been stoked all day for this. You guys, the most important thing, I would say, and I mean, it's the entire thing. It's the entire thing, but to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it, right? To continue to get more and more into the meta, because the more you become in the meta, the more that quantum field around you starts to serve and starts to sort of like materialize. At that point is when you're really starting to get like, and so I love how you say it, because there are people that try to say this. I'm gonna say try. There are people that try to say things like this, and it gets very heady, and it gets really like the yes or no, the right or wrong, right? Yes. Constant self-coaching. Yeah. But they get so in their head about it, and then they teach from in their head. God bless them. That's where they're at. But they teach from in their head instead of like what Bob is saying, from the outcome. Okay, so because of that, I am feeling this way. Because of that, I am feeling this way. Because of that, I am feeling this way. It's almost like that funnel why, right? Like the why do you do something? I do it because of this. Okay, well, why is that important?
Yes,
Because
perfect. And that's another one too. This builds mission. It amplifies our why. I mean, find your why, all that kind of stuff. But that's really, really, really what it's about. Is like if I'm looking for a point that my rational mind gets is a goal of finances or numbers or whatever. That's not really what it's about. It's about the value of experience in there.
yes.
So that's like the why of it. Why are you serving in this particular way? Let's say it's about career service and that kind of stuff. Well, it's not just, I mean, yes, energy is going to happen, but miracles happen. That's really what it's about. That's what wakes us up early in the morning and keeps us full on throughout the whole day is miracles.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what I would venture to say 99%, and I have no data to support this, only my heart. I would venture to say 99% of the people that are in Young Living are doing this to be able to support other people in their own community.
Amen.
That's I mean, we do work from our hearts. And the beauty of that is that we are the best business people on the planet when we are working from our heart, because we give a rip about people, and we will not let somebody, we win all the way around. It's not I win, you lose. It's not about that. It was never about that with us. It's always because you win, I win also. We all win, and it's an awesome game that we all get to play. And Young Living is the best place to play it. I'm just saying.
Yep, I agree.
Let me see what some folks have been saying. Lynette said, "Hi friends, this was back a little bit. Hi Martha, hi Bob. Believe and receive, yes. Gail, be alive in." That's one of my favorite things that you say. Believe, be alive in. Man, that just takes you right into the moment. it drives you right home into like sort of the breath between the moments. For me anyway, it's just like, whoa.
Me too.
Lynette, be alive in your dream fulfilled. Rachel, I released all fear, here we go. I released all fear, all hesitation. That is in the past. End, delete. I am my dream this week and every week forward. So happy, crazy hands.
And I have a comment. If we release something, it can come back 7 worse than the first.
Ooh, what is a better?
So, and when you lease something, you pay for the use of something that's not yours. So if you release it, you in essence lease it again. So instead of release fear, how about touch your fear with love and see fear inside of every contraction is an expansion. Inside of every problem is the solution. So I know it's a great word. So when we touch fear with love and stay, I touch and I stay. And this is the all for you stuff. Everybody just jump in and get the all for you, because it's a deep dive into the intros that I'm giving you right now. Yeah. So if I touch and I stay and I love and I breathe and I feel inside of fear, not believing in it, not giving it up, just touching it with love, it turns into my courage, faith, security, assuredness, confidence. So in other words, I release fear, it could come back. But if I grab hold of that puppy, put my arms around it and love it into my courage and enthusiasm, that's the way. Then you don't have to wonder, well, I let you go. Are you coming back with friends? I hope not.
Yes. Love it and integrate it. Get it on in with everything else. When you're loving it, love it better. Better is self-coaching. Hashtag self-coaching.
Yep.
Oh my word. Everybody's just so happy. Annie, my love raises everyone in my community. Oh, wow.
Yes, right on.
There it is. Susan, so good, Bob. Crystal, oh, hi. Sharon said, amen. Someone said, got my Bob fix. Lynette, I touch my fear with love. I stay, I feel, I breathe. I transform it into infinite possibilities. Boom.
Yeah.
Marcy, wow, so good. This is how often, because I know there are a lot of people that really would like play-by-plays. Like how many times do I do this a day? How is this an every time that you're thinking of it situation? Is it as it comes to mind?
Here's what I can share. I mean, that's a great question. So I'm just going to speak for me, that once I realized the door was open for miracles.
Mhm.
And they are. I mean, right now I've got a mentoring program, a brand new mentoring program starting because I believe, I'm just going to say this, I believe that disease, the illusion of disease is over. And we are, those of us here that are involved in Young Living are in the, I'm not going to say the only sweet spot, because I know of all kinds of other companies that have great, great, great nutritional products. I'll put it that, not necessarily essential oils at all, but and I used to carry all the essential oils, by the way, long. I mean, 1976. I mean, that was my way back then. And it was like, some are great and some suck. Anyway, but the point is that for me, there comes a moment in time when whether I'm talking with somebody or whether maybe I don't have an agreement to do that, my job is to replace everything in me, in my experience, with the victory of something. And so I'm at the point now, and I have been most of my life, but especially now, of we as human beings, I believe, came to this planet, love and learn and all that, and really, really we came to announce, which means noun means name, to rename, to replace, to revise, receive, visor, vision, to redeem, I like that word a lot, all energy back into pure love. So how often does anyone do this? It depends on your enthusiastic thirst and commitment for living heaven on earth, living our miraculous life. If I look at Gary's life, the little bit that I know about Gary's life, even though I know quite a bit, there wasn't a moment that he wasn't in the middle of the transformation. If somebody comes into my life, you're going to see that's what I've been doing my own way in the same thing. And so I believe there comes a point in time where we all realize that we are an energy form. We're a flame of life force. We are a stream from the Most High Living God through our temple of the Most High Living God, whatever name people give it, all that kind of stuff. And we literally, our eyes can either witness imperfection or we can see through it to the victory of all life everywhere. So for me, how often do I do this? I may not have permission to coach everyone. Cool. And inside of me, I can see and claim, and how do I feel now that if somebody's in a deficient state or reactive state, I can vote their victory. I can see perfection. I can stand with them through the veil of their illusion into their victory while just being completely silent and quiet. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and now I'm crying.
And it's what you do, my dear. You didn't pick a lightweight, easy version. You came in, my story when we were up in Cedar Rapids was, your life story had some contraction in it. Got it?
Yeah.
But that's the opposite of who you are. I used to be I almost said the other word, I'm serious, I almost did, freaking phobic to speak in public. I was terrified, but beyond terror-phobic, because my body would shut down. And I don't believe in public anymore. I believe we're all one. I speak out loud until I get it, which is what I train my trainers. And so what I realize is what's starting to happen is centers, leaders, groups of people who are making an agreement to not just sell products, no, to help people understand this particular vibration in this oil, a bottle, is actually not healing what's wrong. It might. That's not the point. It's restoring a blessing. And if we can add to it language and imagination, well, watch that. If we can add to, now that we agree with the perfection in the oil, how's that? Now that I agree with miracles with all 9,000 or whatever, next week is probably going to be 95 million, whatever it is. Now that how do I feel now that we as a team have already raised our planet? And I mean, really do that. All right. Well, how do I feel? That's our outcome. How do I feel? Imagine from there, our new here. It's not there anymore. It's here. We're folding space and time. That's what's happening. Yes. We're folding it. So now that each one that's experiencing this video, either recorded or live, this Zoom session, is just awakened to their anointed, whatever word that is for you, anointed self. What the word Christ, that fascinating word, means anointed. The word Christ means anointed. That's what it means. So I'm not talking about religion, anything at all. I'm talking about we have a white fire anointed self inside of every one of us. And when we imagine from it, not try to get it from it, we walk new. We walk new. And then we become miracle upon miracle. And then we really realize that we're not just seeing what exists, we're also creating it. Because vision is two-way. It's not only letting light in, light comes out. And then we move from, choosing to feel safe, safe is from something, and secure, home run. Then we realize I see cure everywhere I go. I see cure everywhere I go. So again, now the vibrations that we have in these beautiful heavenly bottles, I'll put it that way. I'm just going to talk about oils for a minute. And the way they've been blended together, something's going on there. I can tell you that. And it's a greater personality. It's like a Vesica Pisces or a flower of life or all that kind of stuff. What happens, we like distribute. We're like carriers. We're custodians of this. And then all we have to do is magnetize in those who will be benefited by it and also will help share the benefit with other people. So as you said it perfectly, we're heart-centered. That's the point. And so we've gone from a duality world into now heart-centered, already done world. And so for me, it's every moment of every day. And I will share with everyone, because I've read decree after decree books about morning and night decrees, about how, dear God, it would be a mighty I am presence. Mighty I am presence, take me to the whatever of light tonight and have miracles happen, whatever it was. And then see that I remember everything that happens when I return to my body in the morning. Now when I sleep, I'm lucid. I'm aware, fully aware while I'm in sleep all night long. So, I just thank you, God. Nobody really told me that was available. Only by doing these decrees of make sure I remember, God, what you teach me when I'm out of my body, when I'm sleeping. So again, how many love the idea of having and Scripture says it this way. It says, we are responsible for every idle word, even in sleep. And so for me, like, it's up to each person. I'm not saying that's the right way. I'm just saying I love miracles. The song I'm Addicted to Love, usually I'd have my sound person put that on, I'm addicted to love, I mean, really, I'm addicted to miracles in a good way. I'm addicted to watching people get their own aha, their own, wow, go from it feels to I feel. Go from I'm moving toward to, now that I move forward, what's new and different is, and what's my outcome of that? What's my outcome? Imagine from here. Notice that. Imagine from there. Imagine from my new here. I just took my consciousness and folded space and time.
Yes.
Which doesn't exist. So in other words, there's no delay. Ask and you shall receive. That's always instantaneous. Always. There's no delay for God. God is everywhere already present, and there's no future or past for God, ever. And God is what we're built by. So for me, I'm going to say, everyone, your heart knows, and just imagine you're already living this your way divinely, period. That's what I got.
Yeah. I'm just going to give like a little something that helps me out anyway, is whenever I'm thinking for my outcome, whenever I'm, and then the outcome and the outcome and the outcome. Whenever I'm doing that, in order to not stay too far into my head, because it can be done from a heady place. You can say like, well, then I'll be happy with this. And it'll feel surfacey and it won't feel like you're embodying it. It just feels kind of right here. But if you're able to take time, like moms, if you can go lock the door in the bathroom. If you can go take time somewhere that you can just sit there for a minute, shut your eyes and live that space, live in that place that and then the outcome is here. Live in it, center in it, feel it. And then, and like, really sit in it for a second, and then the outcome. So don't move like so fast that you're like, okay, outcome, 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 but like feel it
I'm
because
going to pause you. I'm going to pause you. I'm going to pause you for just a second because this is perfect. I'm just going to add a little bit, make it a little bit easier.
yes,
So whenever, if you're in your head, it will feel, and anytime you say it's head. Yeah. So then you just move from it to I feel. Everyone just say it feels.
It feels.
Now say I feel.
I feel.
And then you'll move from that space to my space.
My space.
Yes, and so do you see the language? Look, this is conscious language.
Yeah.
Helps all of that. That you get that, and then you hopefully get some time. How about I give myself time?
Yeah.
And then the outcome shows up. My outcome.
Yeah.
And so for me, it just takes the dream, and you got the blueprint, and now you personalize it. So go ahead, but I'm just sharing. That's the language is the connecting point on this.
Oh, somebody's knocking at our door.
Housekeeping.
Hey, Mike. Oh, it really is housekeeping. She's gonna come in a minute. I don't know what to do.
We'll put her on, and we'll just say, "What's your outcome today?"
Oh my word. Okay, well, I don't know what to do now. So, well, we're pretty much,
Yeah.
let me just say that the last, sorry, this is what happens when we're traveling, right? There are links. Bob, do you want to tell them about the links that they have and what those are for that are in the description of this video?
Well, yeah, I choose to remember what we've got. So All For You is where I start everyone. So if somebody would go, ooh, where do I start? It's a thing called All For You. It's a bunch of information with a book, Living the Path of Conscious Language, the Power of Imagination Activation, Outcome Mapping, the whole foundation, and then an entirely videoed class on All For You, which is preparation before anybody comes and does a live one with me, which we're talking about doing in something that you're doing. Do you need to answer that? I'll keep talking. And then those that are interested in becoming a mentor or a coach of this, a facilitator of this, you can just email support@masterysystems.com through the link, and anything you do, just make sure that we know, I heard from Martha, whatever. You can learn about that. And then, we've got the foundation, which you can get for free. I think it may only be free for another day or so, and then we're going to put it back up for $444. So jump in. It's free right now. We've had it up for a few months now, and it's going to go back to normal. And I choose to remember what else is in there, dear. So I apologize. I don't.
There was, let me get to my notepad. Hang on real quick. There was the Closeout Sale.
Yeah.
And then All For You. And then it has the discount code or the coupon code, and then the Mastery Prep Kit. And then also I have the handout link, of course, for
good. And that's perfect. And then you have links to all the other stuff. So what I'm inviting people to do is to check with you, Martha, that we're starting another facilitator program. And there's it's All For You. Sacred Body Language Translation Facilitator, Biooptic Holography Facilitator, and Life Upgrade Coaching Facilitator. So what's happening here is that it's, imagine for me, my mission is we have 1,000 individuals or groups worldwide where someone can go and find the glitch and upgrade it right then and there. I mean, I've been doing 15-minute coaching sessions. I just worked with an individual who was the husband of one of our students. I had never met him before. I don't want to say his name, but amazing man. He had PTSD, a terrible experience at war. He's been working on it for 3 years. He just sent me an email, and it's absolutely amazing. And in 15, actually, I told him it was 16 minutes. I went over a minute. He said in 16 minutes, he resolved what all the support he was getting didn't even touch it. And we got right to it in 16 minutes. That's available. Everyone can do that because this is a system that's duplicatable. Anyway, so you know how to get in touch with me. So that's the best way is through Martha. So
yeah, awesome. Well, you guys, we will be back next Friday. All of the links are in the description. Any comments that you have, Bob sees the comments. I know he's a busy guy too, so he'll go through them as he can, I'm sure. But there's those comments. You go ahead and comment on this video. But yeah, do this. Do this. It's so wise, you guys. It's so wise. If ever there is a point where you feel like you are struggling, that's a word I hear a lot. I'm struggling with this and I'm struggling with that. My prayer and my challenge for you is to do this. Is to work through this stuff. Not even work through that stuff. Just do this.
Yeah.
So okay. Any last words, Bob?
Well, now that you have ease instead of struggling, what's new and different for you? Anyway, thank you, dear. It's great being with all of you.
Bye-bye, guys.